Anyways, this video is very long, so I'm gonna break it up into two pieces. So you'll get a part one and a part two. Basically, they said that it was just like an add-on to what I was already feeling, which was the anxiety, and it started as seizures and it turned into passing out. So I was alternating between the two. I was passing out and having seizures. So they put me on anti-anxiety medication in July of that year, and I was taking them. And then in December, when I started doing the whole passing out episodes, they changed my anti-anxiety medication to a different one. And I was on that one for a little bit. And like I told you, I was supposed to have surgery in December, but they told me that they weren't going to do it because there was another case that was more severe than mine, so they prioritized that one. But again, I had already asked for time off from work, and at the time, I was prioritizing appointments that had to do with this surgery specifically, and in turn, I missed other appointments that were just as important, but like I said, I prioritized the appointments that had to do with my surgery. So since I prioritized those, I figured, okay, we're going to have the surgery. And then come to find out, no, we're not. So I instantly got mad because I had prioritized appointments that had to do with the surgery and missed others in return. And those surgeries that I missed could have really helped me out because I was supposed to have appointments for urology. I was supposed to have appointments for neurology. I was supposed to have appointments for a nutritionist, and I missed all of them. The nutritionist one doesn't really bug me. What bugs me is the fact that I missed the urology and neurology appointments because I have a shunt, and they were going to check that. And the urology, I missed it, and they were going to do a urodynamics study, and I didn't have those done. And so obviously the holidays happened, New Year's, whatever. And well, actually no, back up before the holidays happened. I was supposed to have, and I remember the dates. I was supposed to have surgery December 5th. And then by then I was already mad because this is the second time that they had told me, never mind, we're not doing the surgery. So I was already mad, and I was getting even more anxious because I knew I would have to go through the pre-op stuff again, and I don't like needles. So having my blood drawn for me is still to this day a big issue. Like I don't like it. And you would think my whole life going through doctors and having all these like medical procedures and always being around needles that I'd be used to it. No, I'm not. I hate needles. So I ended up having to basically go through everything again, but on December 17th, I had to resign from my job because, again, I was missing work because obviously I had doctor's appointments. Two, I was missing work now at this time. I was already missing quite a bit from work just due to the fact that I could not function. I was in a lot of pain. I started having really bad anxiety, and it was getting really bad to the point where I just was like, I'm done. I couldn't do it. So I quit my job, and that was hard because, like I said, I really liked working there because it was the first company that didn't really give me that much crap about my disability, and they were really understanding when it came to it, which was the first time that ever happened. So, yeah, I quit, and then in February, I finally had the surgery. And, I mean, ever since then, I've been fine, and I haven't had any seizures. I haven't had any episodes of passing out. But between all of that, obviously, I was going through so many emotions. I was obviously mad about the fact that I was having to reschedule the surgery multiple times. I was anxious because of the fact that obviously I was gonna have a surgery, and it was on my carotid artery, so that was already a big deal on its own. And then they were telling me all these side effects, so I was getting pretty scared about that. And me not going to work was just also another factor that was going through my head, like thinking about like everything that I could be possibly missing out on. It was a lot to deal with at the time. And so I started like having seizures. I basically, my anxiety got out of whack. Like, it was way too much for me to handle. So I started having, and when I say they're caused by anxiety, they're not epileptic seizures. So I just want to make that clear. They are not treated with epilepsy medication. They are merely just psychological. So the treatment that I was on was to put me on anti-anxiety medication and to have me see a psychiatrist, one of the two, I forget which was which. But I only saw them once. And again, that was due to me prioritizing appointments for the surgery. So, yeah, as far as the seizures go, again, they're psychological. They progress rather quickly. I didn't really know when I was going to have one. All I knew is that my body would get hot. Now that I think back on it, I kind of could tell now, but at the time I didn't know I was going to have one. But all I remember is my body would get hot, my heart would start racing, and I would start hyperventilating. Sometimes I would be crying right before because my body was just that anxious and my anxiety was through the roof. And then I would start convulsing, like if I was having an epileptic seizure, or I would just pass out. And that's what triggered me getting this, which is my medical alert bracelet. Because since they weren't epileptic seizures, they don't require you to go to the hospital every single time you have a seizure. It's just one of those things, if it lasts more than 5 minutes, then yes, go to the hospital. But other than that, it doesn't require hospitalization because it's psychological. If you go to the hospital, they're not going to do anything because it's psychological. It's just something you kind of have to it's harsh, but it's kind of something you just have to deal with, because it's one of those things where since it's psychological, you basically have to deal with it through going through psychology and then also with medication for some, and I was one of those. But it was pretty scary because I had never had seizures, so my family didn't know how to react to it. I didn't know how to react to it. It was new to me and my family, so it was pretty scary. Yeah, I basically was having episodes as if I had epilepsy. They did the testing to see if I had epilepsy. I think it's called EEG, I think it's called. I don't know what it stands for, so yeah, I don't know. But basically, they just put all these, those for those of you that have ever been in the hospital, those things that they put on your body to monitor your heart rate and all that. It was similar to that, but they put it on my head and my face and in my hair, and they wrapped up my whole head as if I had just been in a car accident and hit my head, but I hadn't. And so basically, I was with this bandage helmet. So they did that for I think a couple of hours to basically see if I had any brain activity that showed as if I had epilepsy. And on top of it, they had a camera on me at all times just to see if there was a pattern or something like that. And that's when they diagnosed me with psychogenic seizures, because they saw that my brain activity didn't show that I had epilepsy. So they just told me, you have psychogenic seizures, and that's when they brought up me seeing a psychologist. So, yeah. So, I basically wanted to share that with you guys, what psychogenic seizures were and what causes them. So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys for today. So, I will see you guys next time. And as always, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.